In today's video, I attempt to complete Grounded using only my fists as a weapon on Woe difficulty. My goals are to collect all of the BURG.L chips and defeat the Broodmother. Will I be able to complete the challenge? Did I mention only 6% of you are subscribed, so make sure you subscribe as it's free and it stops you from missing any future videos. Also, follow me on Twitch if you want to see me complete these challenges live. As you can see, we are on Woe difficulty. No custom game options, no funny business, just default Woe. We start off by grabbing some basic resources, as always. I've gotten pretty good at this part of the game, as we've done a lot of challenges at this point. As always, I scan the sap, plant fiber, and pebbler, and then craft the pebbler axe. I use my fists to kill a couple of weevils and analyze their meat, which unlocks the weevil shield, and also analyze the nose in order to unlock the gas mask. I then crafted a pebbler hammer and began breaking acorns so that I could craft some armor and chests. I built a workbench and then made an acorn shovel. I analyzed the acorns to unlock the armor, spinning wheel, and smoothie station. I analyzed a sprig to unlock the campfire. I crafted some acorn leggings and then collected some clover leaves so that I could build a chest and make the acorn chestplate. Next, I farmed some grubs which we needed for food, to craft the weevil shield, and to later upgrade our armor. Then, I made my weevil shield. This would finally allow us to block attacks while fighting with our fists. I made a roasting spit and a lean-to, and then set my spawn point. I headed to the laser and took out all of the mites so that we could progress the story. I also grabbed some quartzite so that we could make the smithing station later on. While here, I unlocked tier 1 of the Lilfist mutation. Lilfist has changed since we last did this challenge. It used to just increase your punch damage, but now it increases your punch with every consecutive attack, as long as you remain in combat the whole time, making it much stronger than before. I chopped the grass and activated the mysterious machine, freeing BURG.L from his prison. While nearby, I decided to pay the Red Anthill a visit and steal their BURG.L chip. This was easy, as I just ran past everything, avoiding any potential fights. On my way home, I punched a couple of gnats as I needed gnat fuzz for the gas mask. Once home, I saw that all of my food had already gone rotten. This was going to be harder than I thought. I made my acorn helmet, meaning we now had a full set of acorn armor as well as the weevil shield. Next, I headed to the Oak Lab to revive BURG.L. I skipped through his essay of dialogue and then scanned my hand. I unlocked the smithing station and then gave BURG.L the red anthill chip so that I could purchase fiber bandage efficiency. I scanned a grass plank and weed stem before grabbing a dandelion tuft to prevent fall damage. I proceeded to make a smithing station and then, as always, build a wall around the base to prevent any ants from stealing my stuff. I made another chest for storage and then made 2 canteens to carry water as we were on Woe, so I was dehydrating a lot faster than usual. On my way to the hedge, I picked up tier 1 of the coup de grace mutation, as this would help further increase our melee power. I began collecting berry chunks to make some better armor and upgrade it later on. Then, as always, I used the web sack strategy to get a ladybug head as well as some bombardier and stinkbug parts. I headed into the hedge lab and grabbed all 4 pieces of the password before heading to the storage room to grab the silk. Then, I scanned my hand and entered the password, unlocking the door and allowing me to grab the hedge super chip and activating the scanners around the map. On my way home, I grabbed some clay to make the spinning wheel and oven later on. I gave BURG.L the hedge chip and then unlocked the berry plates and buff lungs. I crafted a gas mask as I would need this later for the haze and made the spinning wheel to craft crude rope cheaper as well as the grinder to begin making scraps for armor plates. Next, I made a pebblet dagger and gill tube as I decided that it was time to head underwater. Then, something magical happened. Just as I thought I was about to be killed by the koi fish, he missed me and killed a diving bell spider, allowing me to get a diving bell spider chunk. This was huge, as it meant I could legitimately get the bone dagger without breaking any rules, meaning I was allowed to use it to collect milk molars. I then headed to the pond depths and obtained the Mertine mutation for some extra oxygen and movement speed. I headed to the pond lab and scanned my hand to get in. I made quick work of the RCR and then pillaged the storage room for all of its goodies. Then I proceeded to activate all 3 of the breakers and enter the pond lab. I activated the computer, opening the rest of the lab, and then I just ran past all of the robots and grabbed the chip, okay? They were kind of a bit too strong for me, to be honest. Next, I grabbed some sunken bones for the bone dagger and then proceeded into the cave and yeah, this was a bit rough. I grabbed my stuff and also the mossy key and then we escaped the cave. I unlocked the chest and grabbed the final underwater BURG.L chip. I gave BURG.L both of the chips we had just collected, bought the hedge cookbook, and then crafted the bone dagger. Using the bone dagger, I collected 3 milk molars and used them to increase my max mutations. It was time to upgrade my armor. I punched a load of grubs to death and made a smoothie station. I then went and grabbed some sap. After a few failed attempts at killing a ladybug, and I mean a few, okay, this guy literally 1 or 2 hits me, it's pretty ridiculous. Even if I'm blocking with my shield, I'd still get 1 hit. I was finally able to kill the first one. I needed to kill these in order to craft the ladybug armor. Then, after a few more failed attempts, as I say, it's pretty goddamn difficult, okay? I killed my second and third ladybug, which would allow me to make some of my ladybug armor. I crafted myself a full set of ladybug armor and began upgrading it. With my new armor equipped, I was able to take on another bombardier, but was still unlucky and didn't get the boiling gland that I needed. I was now able to make the insect axe though, as well as a couple of grinders. With my new axe equipped, I collected a bunch of weed stems to grind into plant fiber. This allowed me to further upgrade my armor. While killing ants in the nest, I was able to unlock tier 3 of Lil Fist, meaning it was maxed out, and my damage was higher than ever. I killed another bombardier and I finally got the boiling gland that I needed. I made a jerky rack and upgraded all of my armor to level 5 before crafting the insect hammer. Next, I headed to the mint box to grab all of the mint shards, as I love to munch on these throughout the game in order to unlock tier 3 of fresh defense for collecting the coal later on. I was then able to upgrade my chestplate and leggings to the sleek variation for the extra healing bonus before yet again increasing my max mutations. Haze time. I used an infected weevil to open the door and proceeded inside. I punched both of the tasties to death and then ran through the explosive maze to unlock the rest of the lab. Time for the hard part. After several failed attempts, the ladybug finally got stuck, making this a much easier fight. One by one, I took out the infected enemies, with my damage increasing with each punch thanks to Lil Fist. Eventually, I took out the infected ladybug, which unlocked the Truffle Tussle mutation, making me even more powerful. I grabbed the super chip as well as the bombs and the granola. I upgraded my helmet to sleek level 6 and then killed a weevil. Little did I know this explosion actually damages structures, so I nearly, very nearly, destroyed my jerky rack in the process. I gave BURG.L the haze chip and then unlocked the advanced building productions for the oven. I killed another 3 bombardiers and only managed to get 1 boiling gland in the process. Next, I used one of the bombs from the haze lab to access the upper yard and headed straight for the black ant area so I could kill them to try and get the black ant shield. I then brought a ladybird larva to the termite nest so that he could kill them for me, and I could steal all of the parts. After he killed 3 soldiers, he finally died, and I looted him also. I headed home to upgrade my armor and increase my max active mutations. These were the 5 mutations I was going to use for the majority of the rest of the playthrough. I spent some more milk molars to increase my health and stamina. I made the black ant shield and spent a couple more milk molars. I saw a sickly roly-poly killing some black ants, so I yoinked the parts from their bodies to use to repair my shield later on. Next, I headed to the black ant lab and used the same shortcut that I always do to get in without using any bombs. I looted the chests and killed all of the TASEs. I scanned my hand to unlock the door before killing the final TASE and activating the computer. I looted another chest, killed the TASEs, and activated the final computer, unlocking the entire lab. I collected the ever charcoal for the oven and then killed a bombardier for its boiling gland. After that, I killed some roly-polies for bug glue. This allowed me to craft the termite axe. With the termite axe equipped, I headed into the termite nest and chopped through the splinters, gaining access to the king's lair and grabbing the BURG.L chip. I harvested some lint and pupa and then became the first person in history to kill a scarab using only their fists. Don't even ask, honestly. I collected a bunch more pupa as we needed it for a new armor set. I killed a roly-poly and then collected even more lint from the dust mite area of the map. I gave BURG.L the chip and then proceeded to spend more milk molars and unlock pupa plates. I bombed the leaning shovel and then headed to the exposed pipe to grab the Minotaur maze key. Then, Once at the end of the maze, I rolled the dice to get a 20 and unlock tier 2 of Coup de Grace, boosting my crit chance higher than ever. I unlocked the chest and grabbed the picnic BURG.L chip. Now that I was home, it was time for an upgrade. I made the roly-poly leggings and upgraded them to level 6, taking the bulky path for maximum defense. I gave BURG.L the chip and spent more milk molars on upgrades. I killed another bombardier for a boiling gland, putting us one step closer to the oven. I crafted the roly-poly helmet, leveling it up to level 6 in the bulky path also. I then proceeded to kill yet another bombardier, getting yet another boiling gland. I headed back to the upper yard and killed 3 more roly-polies as we needed their parts for the chest plate and also to make some repair glue. While killing a grub, I realised that the explosion from Truffle Tussle can kill grubs that are still buried underground. I crafted the roly-poly chest plate, meaning I had a full set, and upgraded it to level 6 bulky. Then, I finally made an oven and crafted some spider sliders to increase my crit chance. I opened the assistant manager boss fight and bombed the glass. I spawned the boss in and took my time to carefully kill him on my first try. I mean, just look at how much damage each of my punches is doing at the end of the fight, after my damage is fully stacked up from Lil Fist. I grabbed the key card and proceeded to pick up the Black Anthill super chip. Then I headed to the sandbox and grabbed the sandbox chip, meaning we only had the Broodmother left to go. I saw an antlion had killed a wolf spider, so I ran over and looted the body as I could use the spider fangs to make liquid rage. I decided it was time to kill a wolf spider to get Mithridatism. Mid-fight, an Orbweaver showed up, making this twice as hard, but eventually I was able to kill both of them, unlocking tier 1 of Mithridatism. I crafted some meals and the Broodmother BLT before heading to the boss fight. I drank a bunch of smoothies to buff myself as much as possible for the fight, and remembered to equip Mithridatism at the last possible moment. By the end of the fight, my punches were two-shotting Orbweaver Juniors because of the damage stacking caused by Lil Fist, and I was able to finish off the Broodmother and complete the challenge.
Yeah, she did, and she didn't even do the animation. It's fine though, because she's dead! Let's go! Oh my god.
If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and leave a comment suggesting any future challenge ideas you have down below.